I never believed in monsters, not ghosts, not demons, not things that hide in the dark. I believed in stress, long hours, exhaustion, the mind playing tricks on itself. That belief lasted until the night something followed me home from work. And I don't mean someone, I mean something. Something that learned my route, something that copied my movements, something that knew when I realized it wasn't human. The walk home. I work late shifts, always have. By the time I leave, the city is quiet in that unnatural way, like it's holding its breath. Streetlights buzz, shops are closed, even the stray dogs disappear. That night felt wrong. Not dangerous, not scary, just off. About 10 minutes into my walk, I heard footsteps behind me. Slow, heavy, perfectly timed with mine. I stopped. The footsteps stopped. I turned around. No one was there. I laughed it off, told myself it was an echo. My imagination, anything but what my body already knew. When I started walking again, the footsteps came back. Closer this time. Wrong movements. I sped up. So did it. That's when I noticed something strange. The footsteps weren't just matching my pace. They were matching my rhythm. When I dragged my left foot slightly, it dragged too. When I adjusted my jacket, there was a faint fabric sound behind me half a second late, like it was copying me. Practicing. I crossed the street suddenly. It crossed too. Still no shadow. Still no shape. Just sound. Just presence. My heart started pounding, and that's when I made the mistake of speaking. Hello. The word echoed down the street, and then something behind me tried to say it too. The voice. It didn't say hello correctly. The pitch was wrong. The timing was wrong. Like a recording played through a broken speaker. Yell low. I ran. I didn't look back. I didn't scream. I ran like my body already knew that if I saw it, I wouldn't survive the understanding. Behind me, the footsteps turned frantic. Not chasing. Learning how to chase. I reached my apartment building, fumbled my keys, dropped them twice, finally unlocked the door and slammed it shut behind me. Silence. No footsteps. No voice. I stood there shaking, telling myself it was over. I was wrong. Inside with me. I live alone. Small apartment. Thin walls. As I leaned against the door, trying to calm down, I heard something on the other side. Breathing. Slow. Curious. Then, knocking. 3 soft taps. I didn't answer. Another knock. This time, it copied my voice perfectly. Opened the door. Same tone. Same exhaustion. But I hadn't spoken those words. I backed away. The door handle twisted. Not hard. Just enough to let me know. It understood how doors worked. The imitation. I locked myself in my bedroom and called a friend. No answer. Then my phone buzzed. A message. From my own number. Why are you hiding? The bedroom door creaked. Something brushed against it. And then I heard myself laugh from the hallway. That's when I understood. It wasn't trying to hurt me. It was trying to replace me. The rules. I remembered something my grandmother used to say. If it copies you, don't correct it. If it speaks to you, don't answer. And whatever you do, don't let it see you sleep. So I stayed awake all night, listening as it paced my apartment, practicing my voice, practicing my footsteps. Just before sunrise, it stopped. The silence was worse than the noise. When the sun finally came up, I opened my bedroom door. The apartment was empty. Too empty. My shoes were gone. The warning. I moved out the next day. Changed jobs. Changed routes. Changed everything. But sometimes, late at night, I hear footsteps outside my new place. They don't match mine anymore. They already learned. So if you're walking home from work one night, and you hear footsteps copying yours, don't stop. Don't speak. And whatever you do, don't let it learn your voice. Because once it does, you won't be the one who makes it home. I thought leaving would save me. New apartment, new job, new route home. I told myself whatever followed me that night was tied to the place, not me. That was my mistake. Because you don't escape something that has already memorized you. You just give it more time to practice. The new place, my new apartment, is quieter. Too quiet. No footsteps in the hallway. No neighbors arguing through thin walls. The first week, nothing happened. That's how it tricks you. By letting you relax. By letting you believe the danger has passed. On the 8th night, I heard my keys jingle in the lock. From inside the apartment, I was standing in the kitchen, frozen, listening. The door opened slowly, then closed again. Someone sighed. My sigh, proof he was never gone. I checked the door. Locked. Deadbolt still engaged. No sign of forced entry. Then I saw something that made my stomach drop. Wet footprints on the floor. Bare feet, my size, leading from the door, straight into my bedroom. I don't walk barefoot outside. I never have. And the footprints stopped halfway across the room, like whatever made them realized. It didn't need feet anymore. It uses my life. My phone started buzzing nonstop. Messages from coworkers asking why I didn't show up. Messages from my boss asking why I quit without notice. I hadn't. Then I saw the emails, sent from my account, written in my tone, explaining my decision to leave town. It wasn't copying me anymore. It was being me, and it was doing a better job than I ever had. Seeing it for the first time. That night, I finally saw it. Not fully, just a reflection. In the bathroom mirror, standing behind me. Its body didn't make sense. Too tall, too narrow, like a shadow stretched over bones. Its face, my face, almost. The eyes blinked wrong. The smile came half a second late, and when it spoke, it didn't move its mouth. Thank you, it said. You taught me how. The truth about what it is. I found my grandmother's old notebook that night. I hadn't opened it in years. Inside were stories she called the borrowed ones. Things that don't live. Things that don't die. Things that survive by replacing. They follow routine people. Predictable people. People no one would question disappearing. She wrote one line I can't forget. If it finishes your life before you do, it keeps it. That's when I realized. It wasn't hunting me. It was waiting for me to give up, losing time. I started losing hours, waking up in places I didn't remember going, finding food eaten I didn't prepare, neighbors greeting me warmly, even though I'd never met them. One woman smiled and said, "You seemed happier yesterday." I asked what she meant. She said, "You waved at me for the first time." I don't wave, but it does. The terrible choice. I'm writing this from a bus station. I don't know where I'm going. I just know I can't stop moving, because every time I rest, every time I sleep, I wake up feeling less like myself, and more like someone who's already been replaced. If you're listening to this, and someone, you know, starts acting just a little better than before, more confident, more present, more complete, ask yourself something. Did they change? Or did something finally finish learning them? Because it's not the thing that follows you home that you should fear. It's the thing that learns how to live your life better than you ever did. If you're hearing this, then it worked. Not for me. For it. I'm not recording this as a warning anymore. I'm recording it as proof that I existed at all. Because something is living my life now and everyone believes it deserves to. Running fails. I stayed on the move for days. Bus stations, train platforms, crowded places where identity should be safe. But everywhere I went, people reacted like they already knew me. A ticket clerk smiled and said, "Back again?" A woman on the train whispered, "You look better today." That's when I understood. It wasn't following me anymore. It was ahead of me, arriving first, introducing itself as me. The first time I vanished, my bank card stopped working. The app said my account had been closed. By request, my social media accounts were gone, not deleted, renamed, profile picture updated. It was me, but cleaner, happier, more confident. The comments said things like, "You seem lighter lately. Proud of you for finally changing." I realized something terrifying. People didn't miss me. They preferred the version that replaced me. When it spoke through others, I called my mother. She answered cheerfully. Before I could speak, she said, "Oh, you already called today." I asked what they talked about. She laughed and said, "You said you're finally at peace." My voice, my words, but not my choice. When I tried to explain, she went quiet. Then she said something that froze me. "Why are you pretending to be yourself?" Meeting it properly. I stopped running. I went back to my first apartment. It was waiting there, sitting on my old couch, wearing my clothes like they belonged to it. It looked solid now, breathing, blinking normally, alive. It patted the seat beside it. "You're tired," it said gently. "I can finish this for you." I asked it what would happen to me. It tilted its head. "You already know," it replied. "You've been fading for weeks." The rule I broke. My grandmother's notebook had one last rule, one she underlined 3 times. Never listen when it offers relief, because they don't steal your life. They wait until you're willing to give it away. I felt heavy, so tired. Every regret I'd ever carried pressed down on me, and it stood effortlessly, free of doubt, free of fear. That's when I understood the truth. It wasn't evil. It was efficient. The transfer. The lights flickered. The air felt thick. It held my hands. They were warm, human. You don't disappear, it whispered. You become unnecessary. My memories started slipping. Faces first, then names, then my own reflection. I tried to scream. Nothing came out. And then, I was watching. The last thing I am. I don't have a body anymore. Not really. I exist in the quiet moments, in the hesitation before a mirror glance, in the feeling that something is slightly off. It's living perfectly, going to work, calling family, smiling when appropriate, and everyone agrees this version is better. So if you ever wake up feeling lighter, freer, more like yourself than ever before, ask one question. Did you heal? Or did something finally convince you to step aside? Because some things don't chase you, they wait. And when you're tired enough, you let them finish being you.